We're entering into a special time in the life of our church where we are stepping out in faith to build our first phase of our relocation, and to do so debt-free. We're doing this because we're excited about what God is doing in the life of our church right now, and we're excited about what God will do in us and through us in the generations ahead.
My name is Martha Hayden. I've been a member of this church since 1976. This church is resilient. I really believe this church is faithful. It has such a strong heritage.
One thing that I appreciate about it, it's a big family. Well, everybody's friendly, everybody loves each other, and they'll help you any minute, you know.
This is one big family here, and that is what attracted, I think, Tricia and I to this church, you know, in the beginning, is the love that others showed to us the first time we came here.
Everybody stays after church and kind of hangs out here and talks and everything, and that's just really encouraging. I've seen over the years that we tend to do that more and more until they start turning the lights off, so that's kind of a fun thing. But I like to have an area, and I think that's real important because you can see your visitors that come in and, you know, basically be able to greet them coming in.
We moved from Indianapolis, originally from Houston.
We knew that we needed a church that had an established youth group, and I knew I was bringing a senior in high school and a freshman in high school.
We heard they had a dynamite youth program, and we just knew with kids that were that old, we needed to assimilate them quickly. We just knew they had a program to go into.
So we moved here, and we were pregnant with our third child, Lily. We weren't even members yet. We were actually still visiting. We ended up having our third child. One of the Sunday schools started bringing food to us, casseroles, and just like we had known them forever. I didn't even know all their names. They barely knew us. They didn't know where we lived. They called us up and said, hey, we want to bring y'all casseroles. And so they started just providing food. You know, it was just like family.
We had come from a very strong church in Galveston. We moved in June of 1976, and when we came looking for another church home, we knew it needed to be an active church. So we kind of passed through Branham, and we loved the countryside. We just fell in love with it. We really had prayed about it and felt that God was really leading us here. And we've been here for 41 years.
Everybody working together makes a good, happy church family.
Faith building.
Faith building.
Faith building.
Faith building is a great name.
Faith building, Pastor is really working for people to have faith.
We've titled this capital campaign Faith Building. This isn't just about facility building, this is about faith building. Our faith being grown and strengthened as we see God work, the community seeing and witnessing the faithfulness of God in the life of our church, and opportunities that will present themselves.
With a new building, I think it will attract folks. We need to invest in the future, and we need to think of all the people that it will bring in. That's what it's about. It's being part of what God's going to do long after we're gone.
We want to see God in that. We want to see God do something in His power to show Himself.
It's going to impact our community in a magnificent way.
And it's all for the people that are out there that we don't even know yet. The ones that need to meet Jesus, the ones that are stuck in addiction or bad marriages or whatever, and they don't know what their answer is. And God wants to use us to be life changers.
It's going to take us all to work together to do it.
We've got to be about getting out there where they are and then inviting them to come along with us.
Where we're going to move, it's going to be a good location. I think it's going to help draw people in.
We can have all the programs in the world and all the ministries in the world, but we need to reach people where they are.
But this is nothing for God. And He can, in a moment, provide the funds for this. It's just the process of us growing as a church, all the believers coming together and just believing God.
I'm sitting now in a building that they didn't have the money to build, but they had faith. And when we get ready to build, we won't have all the money we need, but we'll have the faith that we need. That's what we're going to have to do.
We have a leader that has stepped in.
Ross has a vision. We are on that path,
I support our pastor every mile of the way. I support him.
We've seen how God is at work in the life of our church, not only in these past few years or even the past few decades, but generations of people who've been impacted by our church. And this isn't just about facility building, this is about faith building. Our faith being grown and strengthened as we see God work, the community seeing and witnessing the faithfulness of God in the life of our church and opportunities that will present themselves. So we're going forward. We're taking this step of faith, seeing what God can do through a humble, dependent people to see God do things beyond anything we could ever ask or imagine. So it's time for us as a church to step out in faith to build these first phase of our relocation, so that when it's all said and done, in 3 years we'll look back and we'll say, this really was about faith building.